Hello there, and welcome back to the broom cupboard at NASA HQ, where we watch all. Now, a few weeks ago, we were watching the comedy film A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Moon. What? What do you mean it's not comedy? No, but it has to be. It's stupid, so stupid. You mean they're serious? They actually believe stuff. Okay, well, apparently we're watching the second part of the documentary A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Moon. Let's go.
Someone apparently forgot to create a burn crater underneath the lunar module's 10,000-pound thrust engine, despite the fact that during ground tests there was a real concern for the vehicle falling into the hole the engine created as it descended.
Incorrect female voice. That sounds an awful lot like Zoe Wanamaker. Nobody forgot to do anything. There is no expectation that there would be a blast crater because the atmosphere on the moon is far, far thinner than on Earth, and it only has about 1/6 of gravity. It would have actually been stranger if there was a blast crater. We'll get to that in just a moment.
In these enlargements, it looks as though the lunar module was simply placed there, not even one speck of moon dust on the landing pod. As a result, all subsequent flights had to have the same discrepancy, which was explained away by the effect of no atmosphere.
But here's where you've gone wrong. You see, Apollo 11 was not the first time we had landed a craft on the moon. It was actually the third time a craft had landed on the moon. And on both previous occasions, there had been no blast crater and no dust. Although there's no way you could verify there is literally not a speck of dust on them anyway. But the point is, it would have been stranger if these things suddenly did start appearing.
And what about stars? On the moon, with no atmosphere, they must have been quite a sight to behold. Yet there is seldom any mention of them, if ever, by any of the astronauts on any of the missions.
Really? Are you sure about that?
In their post-flight press conference, it was the only question to which Neil Armstrong responded with an absence of memory.
Did he though? Did he really?
When you looked up at the sky, could you actually see the stars and the solar corona in spite of the glare?
We were never able to see stars from the lunar surface or on the daylight side of the moon by eye without looking through the optics. I don't recall during the period of time that we were photographing the solar corona what stars we could see.
So what Neil was saying was you couldn't see stars when you're on the side of the moon that's facing towards the sun. Rather like on Earth, when you can't see stars when you're on the side of Earth facing towards the sun.
Why don't stars appear in any of the photographs?
Ooh, I know. It's because the Earth appears to be the relatively brighter object, and that's why the stars can't be seen by the camera sensor.
This answer is true.
Thank you, Lady Cassandra.
It does not, however, explain why they never took any pictures of the stars by themselves, with an exposure setting perfect for them.
Woulda, coulda, shoulda. What is the matter? We've already got plenty of photos of the stars. It wasn't really necessary.
They never took a photographic telescope. Had they done so, they would have been able to see farther into the universe than had ever before been realized.
And if they brought a travel set with them, they could have played chess on the moon. But, they didn't. So what are you going to do?
If they had taken a telescope and were not actually on the moon, they would have had to concoct undiscovered galaxies that might one day prove to be non-existent.
I don't need to tell you why that's dumb.
Then there's the flag, blowing in the wind, at least twice, on the atmosphereless moon.
Okay, so there is an atmosphere on the moon. It's very thin, and it's not one we can breathe, but it is there. And gravity still exists on the moon, but it's only about 1/6 of the strength it is on Earth. But the laws of physics still apply. So what happens is, when he turns the flag, he starts it going back and forth rather like a pendulum. It's not blowing in the wind.
We can only guess that most of the missions were staged inside for fear of possible aerial or satellite reconnaissance from an unfriendly nation. The backpacks, designed for 1/6 gravity, must have had the cooling systems removed to allow for movement without falling over.
But you said they're in a studio. If that's the case, why would they ever have anything in them at all?
You are viewing the scenes as they aired more than 30 years ago. Now let's look at them with the speed doubled. It becomes discernible that they are, in fact, in Earth's gravity, and are no more leaving the ground than they would on Earth.
Wow, things look different if you speed them up. Colour me convinced.
And finally, the element that seals their fate.
Oh, this is their big one. This is the one they've been building up to. This is their smoking gun. Let's see what it is.
Collins, Edwin Aldrin Jr. and Neil Armstrong, staging part of their mission for nearly an hour in living color, with exceptionally clear behind-the-scenes audio of conversations discussing the techniques used to achieve a disingenuous picture depicting the Earth at a distance.
So that's it, huh? That's your incredible, never-before-seen evidence. Just the astronauts setting up a camera. I'd say I'm disappointed, but I didn't really expect any better from you.
For the reel itself is slated and dated July 18th, 19th and 20th, 1969, the very days of the mission when they were said to be approaching and achieving lunar orbit.
Yeah, so? Are you familiar with how windows work?
What they have ingeniously done is placed the camera at the back of the spacecraft and centered the lens on a circular window in the foreground.
So the claim is that they were in lower Earth orbit when they took these photos. Though I thought they were in a studio. Who knows? They're just making it up as they go along. But anyway, it's just the claim. That's all it is.
The circumference of the window then appears to be the diameter of the Earth at a distance, with the darkened walls of the spacecraft appearing to be the blackness of space around it.
That's another claim without evidence.
As they perfected the shot, a crescent-shaped piece of black material was inset slightly into the window to create the illusion of the Earth's terminator line dividing night and day.
And yet another claim without evidence. But if you are interested in finding out exactly what happened on the Apollo 11 mission, you can actually go and read the whole mission transcript right here. Now, that's basically the end of this documentary. They just basically just do a little recap of their stupidity. So I think I'm done with these clowns now. Treyguard?
Spellcasting.
Thanks, Treyguard. So, if you enjoyed this, please feel free to like and subscribe, and help an angel get its wings by hitting the notification bell. Until next time, take care, star wipe, and I'm out.